Sir Albert, good afternoon or good evening. We're already streaming on YouTube, so we're good.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, you can
Okay.
revert me to host so that we can get started.
Okay. Let's schedule that, sir.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, Auntie.
Good evening, Jumoke. How are you?
Fine, thank you, ma.
Good to see you.
Yeah. Enjoy your class. I'll catch it on YouTube later.
Okay. I think we're waiting for one or two more students to join.
Yeah, there are 6 participants now, so let's give it a couple more minutes and then we can get started.
Okay.
Right, we have 8 participants, Ma. I think we can get started so as to utilize our time optimally. It's already 16 minutes past the hour. So I yield to you and I'll go on slide mode.
Right. Thank you so much, Dr. Nami. Hello, everybody. Happy Children's Day. We're all somebody's child, so I think we can all celebrate the children of the world. It's good to be here with you again. And today we'll be talking about the role of civic responsibility in sustainable development, and in particular, understanding the role of civic engagement in achieving the SDGs and environmental responsibility of citizens. That's you and I. Now, civic engagement is actually the involvement of individuals. That means you and I, everyone, young or old, market woman, artisan, plumber, electrician, tailor, baker, musician, student, designer, business owner or professional in the decision-making process of the country. And in relating to the topic we're talking about, I hope you understand the SDGs, 17 goals adopted by the UN member states for a better world. And citizens play a crucial role in driving sustainable change to make it happen. Our engagement in civic responsibility helps all of us as individuals to be that active participant in our community, in our society, to help change and shape public policy, improve conditions, and promote the common good. All of us taking responsibility, not just saying, no, it's government must do this, all of us seeing ourselves as active, responsible actors in that process. And this can include activities like voting, volunteering, community organizing, participating in public discourse or advocacy campaigns, as well as holding leaders accountable. At its core, civic engagement is about being an independent-minded, focus on what I'm saying, independent-minded. You're not somebody who's just doing it because somebody said so, you read about it somewhere, or it was posted somewhere. You're someone who now engage with that image, comment, article, policy, to understand it with your independent mind, analyze it, and come to your own conclusions, because some of the things that are out there are actually false. So you must be somebody who has the independent mind to engage on these issues and find out the facts yourself and make up your mind where you stand on these issues. So you must be informed, you must be patriotic, so you are looking at whatever is coming out from the lens of a patriotic Nigerian. So if somebody is saying something that is against your country, immediately you have to be the patriot that says, no, that's not going to work for my country. That's not right, or that is false. And you must be a responsible person who takes ownership. When you make mistakes, say you're sorry, but be someone who says, whatever I do, I'm taking responsibility for that action. You must be an ethical person who's coming from the point of view of the rightness of the issues, the values, the ethics that drive you to make up your decisions. A committed citizen who contributes to positive social, economic, and environmental change. So what are the SDGs? These are the Sustainable Development Goals. It's a universal call to action for everybody on the entire planet. And focusing on what we're talking about today, which is the environment, it's really about the SDG 6, clean water and sanitation, SDG 7, affordable and clean energy, SDG 11, sustainable cities, and SDG 13, which is talking about climate action. Now, civic engagement is the engine of the SDGs. It cannot happen without all of us engaging. And they are not just goals for government, they're for everyone. They ensure that individuals and community take ownership of the goals, shape it to their own environment. You cannot just read it out and say, okay, this. Look at your own environment and see what applies, what you can adapt, what is feasible, and what actually affects your own environment. So you have to translate these global commitments to local actions. And participation drives accountability when citizens engage in governance, through voting, community organizing, all those things I've talked about. They help promote inclusive institutions. They fight corruption, they demand justice and transparency. And to be able to do that, you have to understand the issues. That's the next slide. You have to understand the issues, the causes and effects of climate change. Things like heat wave, you must notice that things are getting hotter and hotter and hotter. every year, when we're supposed to have a season that is cool and you can calm down and relax, it's still very hot. What is causing these heat waves? Desertification, where vast areas of land that used to be green are now desert, which results in some of the conflicts we are having in the country, like the farmer herder crisis. It is as a direct result of climate change, because can you imagine the Sahara Desert many years ago was green and lush in the past. And so the cattle and the cows can graze in the Sahel. They didn't have to come down south looking for grazing routes. So there's a direct correlation between climate change and some of the conflicts we're having in our world today, particularly in Nigeria. Let's talk about our own. So you have to be an informed and engaged citizen that can lead things like neighborhood cleanups, waste recycling, or planting projects directly impacting on your citizens, your cities, and creating sustainable, livable environment. And living a livable environment is so important for our health as individuals. Your well-being is directly affected by the kind of environment you live in, whether you live in a calm, green, with flowers, clean environment, actually dictates what kind of lifestyle, what kind of health status that you will have. So whether it's promoting the education of SDG 4, the clean water, SDG 6, or good health, SDG 3, civic engagement provides innovative solutions and community-driven projects that fills the gaps left by formal institutions. Like I said earlier on, you cannot leave it to government alone. So while participation drives accountability, some environmental responsibilities of us as citizens should include things like reducing waste, not being somebody who just wastes things, use things, and just throw them away. Try to apply the 3 R's. Reduce the amount of stuff that you use, reuse what you can, not just be a throwaway. I've used this thing, this thing has been here I've been using it for 1 year, I'm going to throw it away. Think about secondhand, selling it to somebody who needs it, or giving it away to somebody who needs it, or repurposing it, or recycling it, and definitely avoid single-use plastics. Lagos State has a very big program on that now, and it's very important because single-use plastics, the use of it, actually has health and environmental implications, which are huge. And you can even just meta on your WhatsApp and ask for the health implications of single-use plastics, and you get a whole list of stuff that you go, oh, wow, I didn't know. So you do some research yourself. So support eco-friendly initiatives, support the Nigeria First policy. So you wear, eat, live in, and patronize Nigeria, made in Nigeria goods and services, and buy sustainable and locally produced goods, particularly in your neighborhood, because you have a responsibility to invest in your local economy. That is how countries grow, from the ground up. People invest in their economy, buying from that mama, put on the streets and all of that, so that the money begins to circulate within your economy, and then it's reinvested and that economy grows. And then you can support or volunteer with environmental organizations. Do some research and find out where they are. Participate in cleaning up campaigns, tree planting events. Planting trees is so important. We must replace the trees we keep cutting down to use for wood, for furniture, and all of those. And then plant greenery in your own home. Go and get it. It doesn't have to be very expensive plants. There's so many around. There's so many people having this roadside horticultural gardens that you can just pick and buy something and share, or grow something and sell yourself. Go into that industry. Have gardens at home where you can have a green, because you now take the carbon dioxide out of the air, even in your own home, and you have, more a healthier air to breathe in. Use green transportation, which means you walk more, you cycle more, or use public transport, or co-share instead of, having your individual and private cars on the roads. This actually reduces carbon emission. Advocate for sustainable policies. Join community forums on environmental issues and promote the circular economy. Push for eco-friendly policies at the local and national levels. Educate others about climate change and environmental stewardship. You can do this online. There are Twitter talks. You can organize so many things on the internet space these days to engage and educate others. And then making lifestyle changes yourself. Eat less processed food and reduce meat consumption. Can you believe it? Find out about that too. Avoid fast fashion and opt for sustainable clothing. Find out what that means. What does fast fashion mean? What kind of fabrics are more sustainable, that can be reusable, that could not pollute the environment? And choose reusable bags, bottles, and containers. Lagos State is doing a lot through its Lagos Waste Management Initiative. So in response to waste disposal issues in Lagos, a city of over 20 million people, Lagos State government, through the LOMA, partnered with local community. There are things like adopt a street and private sector to improve waste collection, recycling, and sanitation. So as civic players, our roles is supposed to help in separating the waste at source, from the organic to the plastic to the paper. And there are community associations that collaborate with the private sector on PSP operators, the private sector players, those little trucks and little carts that you see, they're actually organized by government to do this. And youth and women groups are trained in waste recycling and management. And there are environmental sanitation days that have been, some of it have been brought back in some areas, particularly in marketplaces, to promote community cleanup efforts. So the outcomes of all these efforts is to improve waste collection and reduction in illegal dumping. We must not. Remember, there was a video of somebody taking their rubbish and just dumping it on the side of the road. It's insane. Find the place where you're supposed to dump waste. Call the agency if you don't have something. Talk to organizations like Nigeria Conservation Foundation. They have created bins that you can now put in your area if you don't have one already. Find solutions. That's what this is all about. So rise in recycling and enterprising and creating jobs and reducing landfill use is the result of some of these initiatives. And cleaner neighborhoods and improve public health outcomes. It's about your health too. If the environment is not clean and people are throwing trash all over the place and various pollutants, because these chemicals begin to form themselves and they rise into the atmosphere and we're all breathing it, or they're eaten by the fish that it gets to your table or gets into some of the foods that we're all consuming. It is dangerous for our health. So let's do all we can. And the lessons learned is that community involvement ensures sustainability of these programs. Public-private partnership engage with businesses to amplify reach and impact. So education and consistent awareness campaigns are key to citizens' behavior and change. You cannot just do it one time. You have to do it regularly. You have to do it weekly. You have to do it until you get the results that you want. So empowering local action, youth, men, women, general public, also creates employment. Once all these things have their implications for job creation and economic growth. And there's one initiative which everybody always loves. I don't know if you've heard of Greta Thunberg. Okay, she started at what we call FFF, Fridays for Future, an international movement of school students. It's a youth-led global movement that began in 2018. She was a young teenager then in school, and she started this, a Swedish teenager. And she started striking from school every Friday to protest government inaction on climate change. Her action sparked a worldwide wave of climate strikes, who skipped Friday classes, students to participate in demonstrations to demand action from public leaders, political leaders, to prevent climate change, and for the fossil fuel industry to transition to renewable energy. This is a true demonstration of what an individual can do. This was one teenager, not some PhD student somewhere, or an adult that had business or something. Somebody who took the time to understand the implications to our health and our planet and took action. So that taking responsibility is something that is really, really something that we must all imbibe. Not wait for somebody else to do it, you do it. So the civic engagement role, students, young people, they organize peaceful climate process every Friday, like I said, across the globe. Social media was used to mobilize, educate, and coordinate the action. Youth engaged policymakers through speeches, petitions, and debates. The movement influenced national and international dialogue on climate policy. And the outcome of her action, millions of young people across 150 plus countries participated. The movement led to increased global attention on climate issues. Some governments declared climate emergencies and adopted stricter emission targets. Young activists gained seats at major climate conferences like the COP meetings. That's the Conference of the Parties. It refers to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC, international meetings focusing on climate. So what are the lessons learned? Youth voices are powerful catalysts for global change. Digital platforms are key tools for grassroots civic engagement. Peaceful protests and advocacy can hold leaders accountable. Peaceful, I emphasize peace. Make sure your protests are peaceful and controlled and in partnership with the government so that you don't have the kind of NSAS outcome that you get. We are partnering with government. These actions are supposed to make government even more efficient, even more productive. The outcomes are coming from government. The policies are coming from the government. So when you are engaging, and also engage as a responsible citizen, wanting responsible outcomes. So peaceful process and advocacy for you to hold leaders accountable. Climate justice required intergenerational cooperation and sustained pressure. There are, of course, some challenges to civic engagement to achieve the SDGs or anything else, awareness that you want to do. There's often low awareness of the SDGs, and many citizens do not understand what the SDGs are or how they relate to their daily lives. There's weak civic infrastructure. A lot of civil society don't coordinate and collaborate effectively enough, and there are inadequate platforms for participation at local levels, which limit engagement. So we have to find out what are those groups that we can engage with in our own communities. This is the Egbe Omo, the young groups, Lagos, whatever they call themselves. Is it the Carpenters Association, the Artisans Association? We can always find groups, but it's getting all of us together to understand the issues and engage collaboratively that's important. And there is exclusion of some marginalized groups, youth, women, persons with disabilities, and rural communities are often totally excluded from these discussions. So they're left out of the decision-making process. And there's also limited government transparency. Government may not be deliberately wanting to hoard information, but that is the nature of government. They protect information. They have to go through, huge levels of bureaucracy. They've signed on to NDAs where they cannot disclose. The junior officers in a ministry, he or she may have all the knowledge, but does not have the right to release the information to the public. That's the way governments run. So that's why it is so important for those of us who are in the civic space, who have that freedom to get the information ourselves and put it out to the public and engage so that we can, help to track the progress and hold leaders accountable. There's poor policy implementation. Even when we engage, there's weak follow-up through policies, and sometimes they frustrate our efforts, but we must not give up. And sometimes in some countries, it's actual political interference or repression. Activism can be suppressed in politically sensitive environments. Governments that do not understand it and feel threatened, because they just don't want anybody to protest. So they don't understand the issue. They don't know that it's even going to be beneficial to them, but they don't want you to protest anything. There are places like Uganda where you cannot protest at all, and some other, Russia is a good example, China, North Korea, you cannot just protest like that. So that's some of the constraints. So civil society in those countries have to find different ways of ensuring that they get those messages out and they inform themselves and others. There's resource constraints, of course. Most civil society groups and community groups don't have the funding to support mobilization efforts. So that is why we all have to see ourselves as volunteers. Your time is precious, but if you give it in the cause of what you believe in, you not only get the satisfaction, but you will get the results that are really beneficial to everybody else. And there's often fragmented efforts. We don't coordinate ourselves well enough, and we must do better at that. So often we duplicate efforts. I do something and then another comes next month and does the same thing. We have to be more organized and informing ourselves about the ways that we are engaging with our institutions, so that everybody gets to understand the issues and stop ourselves from wasting time, wasting effort, duplicating effort, etc., etc. So what can you do? Get informed, learn about the 17 SDGs, how they relate to your community and daily life, develop tools and strategies to addressing all these challenges I've listed above. Go through them again and find the one that's that's actually affect your own community, that's related to the issues that you are battling in your own community. Another community may be dealing with erosion, it may not be something that is happening in your own area. So you have to be specific. You have to focus on the specifics that apply to the area that you want to engage. And you have to participate in local governance. You have to engage with your local government officials, because that is where the rubber meets the road. Schedule meetings with them, get to know them, get their numbers, get friendly with them, have town hall meetings. Then, of course, vote at elections so that you get the people that are open to these kinds of, even before the elections, we should by now be having town hall meetings to engage those who want to run for office, whether they understand the SDGs, whether they have plans to implement them, whether it's the SDGs or so many other issues that relate to good governance in our country. And engage in community development projects yourself. Find out, create them, do the cleanup, cleaning the drainage, making sure, take responsibility for making sure that your environment is clean, healthy, and sustainable. So advocate for change, use your voice responsibly and productively online and offline to call for policies and actions that support sustainable development. Volunteer. It's not everything is about money. You will reap the reward in future. Volunteer your time, volunteer your effort, even volunteer some of the little money you have. If it is money that you can spare that you could have used to buy some ice cream or something that you really don't need, you can put it. Every little helps. And join these initiatives. Support or start local initiatives yourselves. Focus on education, climate action, the circular economy. We have to put back, we keep taking out of the environment. We have to put back, we have to find ways of recycling and making sure that we also replenish the earth. We can't just be taken out, otherwise the whole thing will become desert and collapse one day. So looking at climate action, circular economy, health, gender equality, and more. Promote sustainability even in your home. Reduce waste, reuse, and repurpose. You can always, I have chairs that my grandfather had, just get the carpentry or upholster it. It's not everything that has to be new. I love old things because it has history. You can really repurpose it to something that is even more funky for the generation that you're living. Everything is useful. You have to get used to that lifestyle of repurposing, of recycling, of having that circular process within in our everyday lives, and partner with other organizations, support and collaborate with other NGOs, and support local businesses and practice responsible consumption. You cannot just eat, use, have 10,000 things, and you are not helping to improve the lifestyle and the environment in which you live. And there's organizations like LACSOP, which is the Lagos Civil Society Partnership, and other organizations that have SDG-related projects. Lagos Island Connect is an organization that we are working with in Lagos Island. You can also create those kind of models in your own environment, and then hold leaders accountable. Monitor the progress on the NGGs in your community and demand transparency from the leaders. Monitoring is also a tool that I think young people who are in this tech space have this opportunity to create, monitoring tools, evaluation tools that are online that you can ask everyone, in your communities, in your country, in your state, or wherever you are, to engage in, so that you are able to get an idea of, are you making progress? All these things you are doing, is it working? And we can do that, and we can educate and inspire all the others, demand transparency from our leaders, and share information with friends, family, and networks. Don't keep it to yourself. When you learn something, you share it. Let everybody know, and let all of us be on the same page to build a culture of civic responsibility. So my conclusion, so that we have time for more questions and answer, is that civic engagement is essential to the success of the Sustainable Development Goals. When citizens participate actively, accountably, and inclusively, we have a sustainable outcome. We have to do all of those things. We cannot leave it to others. Don't believe that it's only the government that will do it, or it's just the private sector, or some other person. It is your responsibility. You are the owners of your country. You are the leaders of your country. It is a people-driven, citizens-driven process that we have, because we have a democracy. It's not like before, where you have the king who tells everybody what to do. This is a democracy, which means the people themselves have even greater responsibility to make sure that it works. So environmental responsibility is not only a duty, but a shared pathway. From grassroots actions to global movements, individual and collective efforts matter. Every little bit helps. Achieving the SDGs requires everyone's voice, action, and commitment, from local action and local communities to global citizens. And together, we can create that environmentally friendly world we want and deserve. It's up to us, guys. Thank you very much. I think we have time for questions and answers now.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ma. This is the Q&A session. I crave your indulgence to attend to some other things. Antonia, are you available to moderate the Q&A? Antonia Lawal.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Poor Antonia with her cold. Hello.
Thank you, ma'am. I actually have a cold, but if my voice does not matter, I'm happy to take it up.
Maybe I can handle it on my own. I don't want to stress you. I will just ask. I will ask our participants to please raise their hands, and I will call them as I see on the chat. I really am worried about you stressing yourself and losing more of that voice that you have.
Thank you, ma'am.
Participants, please raise your hands.
All right. I'm going to make
questions.
going to make I'm going to make you host, Ma, and Antonia co-host. I'll
Okay.
make you host,
Okay.
and then you can pick anyone else that you like co-host, so that you can navigate the moderation. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Thank you, Doctor, for being so patient with us.
I apologize that I have to leave now, and you are now host, Ma, so you can make anyone else co-host.
Okay. Let me see who I know on the platform. Mr. Blessed Ola, Saint, Saint, can I make you a co-host? I've made you a co-host so that you can help us with moderating this
Excellent.
session.
All right. I'll leave now, and
Okay.
thank you all, and we'll catch up. We'll catch up on our platform, the Model 9 platform.
No
The
problem.
group assignment is already posted there, and
Yeah.
we'll take it off. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you, and good luck with your event. And after the program, I look forward to all the collations that will happen after the program. Have a wonderful evening. Okay.
All right. All participants, thank you all, and goodbye.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much. All right. I think I gave a perfect lecture because I don't see any hands up. Does anybody have a question? Anybody that you would like to just raise your hand so we can unmute you. Okay. Anybody? I don't see any hands up. If you raise your hands, I will be able to unmute you so that you can ask your question. Nobody? I see there are at least 10 people on the platform. I'm sure I didn't give such a perfect presentation that nobody is interested in asking any questions whatsoever. And okay, if you are not familiar or don't want to speak, you can drop your question in the chat box. Okay, I think I see one hand up now. Halima, I'm going to ask you to unmute now so that you are able to ask your question. Go on, Halima.
Good evening, Matt. Thank you very much for a very thought-provoking lecture. My problem is we in northern Nigeria, when you spoke, I kept saying, oh, this is a woman speaking. You know, we find it difficult here, especially the learned ones. You find it difficult to even navigate your way to see how you can, you know, penetrate people in the rural area. So what is your suggestion? How would you, well, yeah, I don't even know how to put it. What will be your suggestion on how do we encourage these rural women to engage in this civic responsibility, or to how do we enlighten them? That's it. It's quite difficult.
It usually, engagement is always difficult, not even when you are in very advanced societies. Government tends to be on one side and they see citizens as being on the other side, and you often you will always have some challenges. So understanding your environment is really important, and thinking through where are the pinpoints, where are the entry points. who do these women listen to?
Yeah.
What kind of activities do they engage in? Even if it's just with their health, do they go to the hospital?
Yeah.
Now, if they're going to a primary health care center, a good partner for this kind of education would be either the doctor, the nurse, or whoever it is that they are already actively involved in. The schools, of
Right.
course, are very important starting point, the teachers, because even if they don't go to the school, their children go to school, educating the children and starting environmental clubs, that are looking at some of these issues in a playful way. It's not supposed to be a lecture and abusing people. It's getting a culture of an understanding of, okay, this thing is happening. Why is it happening? Getting people to develop critical thinking skills so that they can understand the issue and begin to look at come up with solutions themselves in a way that is, it doesn't seem like work or, something that is threatening their lives. Maybe something they enjoy, just drawing artists. There's so many ways, music, so many ways you can engage with people if you just think through it. If you want to study people and see how they behave, who are they engaging with, and by the time you now look at who are your public officers, your chairman, your local government chairman, the senator, or whoever it is within the local community, finding out whether there are people who are able to even understand, who are able to be exposed. And then you can kind of go the back way if you know that there's an organization called ALGON, Association of Local Government Chairmen in the country. You can make a representation to ALGON that they must teach all their local government chairmen about climate change issues and find out whether your own chairman or whatever is involved. There's a wide range of ways that you can begin to engage people. You must always meet people where they are and not believe that you have to take them out of it and transform them somehow magically. It never happens. Even those of us who are talking now, SDGs was not an issue when I was at school. So the ability to be open to have life experiences as you evolve in your life, in your career, and your capacity to even understand these issues. Where every child is like a little ignorant. We were equally ignorant when I was young. We didn't understand the issues. We didn't know how to go about. Made many mistakes, but it's those life experiences that begin to mold you. As long as you're open-minded, you are not sort of somebody who's fixed that as this is the way it was and it was always going to be like that. So you're open-minded and you are doing it out of the passion and love for others. You're not doing it because you think you are so important, you are so good, you are so brilliant, and everybody else is stupid and you must teach them. If you come from the point of I am somebody who has the privilege, it's a privilege. I have somebody who has had the opportunity. I've had somebody who has been given, like even being in this forum, something has brought you here. So that is an incredible a plus for you that you have been exposed to this information. So now you use that information from a point of I love my people, I want them to learn, but cannot do it from the point of thinking they're all stupid, they don't know anything, so I'm going to dictate to them. No, come to it as a mother would, who is looking at their child, who says, my child doesn't understand this. How will I educate them in a way that they will understand and love to do this thing, rather than me beating them up or telling them that, they don't know what they're doing. So I hope I've given you a few tips as to how
Perfectly.
to go about it,
Yeah.
But living the lifestyle, one of the important things is your own lifestyle often is the best teacher for others. When they see the way you are doing things, people will ask you, why are you recycling this thing? And then it gives you an opportunity to give that information and educate others, start a little club around the thing, make it like a fun thing, do competitions around it, so that people begin to feel the benefits, because understanding those benefits and feeling those benefits is the best way to change anybody's mind about anything.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Halima, for your question.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Okay, we had a star question. I think she touched on so many things in that question that she asked. The important lesson we have to all take away from this is that we're all responsible for making our planet cleaner, greener, safer. The more we consume from the planet, take from the planet, use its natural resources without putting back something else, we will have a world that is going to be hotter, more uncomfortable, and more conflict-driven than we have now. So we have to begin to think of the technologies that we can now use to change some of the effects of things we have been doing for so long. That is why we're getting this effect now. If you look at the ice caps in the Arctic on top of the world, they are melting. That's why you are getting flooding down here. All these things, the Earth is a living planet. It is affected by the activities of human beings. The Earth, the skies, and everything around us is directly impacted by the way we, the people, behave. So we have to understand what we were doing that has caused this and what we can do differently. Now that people are talking of electrical cars so that we're not using fossil fuel, find out those things that are the greatest dangers for our climate, and, using oil, burning oil. And so we have to find other ways of producing energy so that we reduce the carbon emissions that come from our daily activities. Everybody for such a very engaging topic. I enjoyed giving you a little talk about it, and I'm hoping that a lot of you have gained some tips. You will be given the slides. I think it will be posted to you either individually or within the group, so that you can take time to study all the information that is there. I want to thank all of you for being here, for taking the time, and also, dear Antonia, let's give Antonia a big clap for her. The can-do spirit, that volunteering, that passion, that love. In spite of her cold, she really wanted to be here, and she was still here, being part of us. Everybody, just give her some emojis right now. Thank you, Antonia. Let me send you some love right away. Okay. Yeah, maybe I don't know how to do it. I did send it. Love to Antonia. Yes, send it with effect. Send it. Thank
Thanks so
you.
much.
Yes,
Thank
send it
you.
to
Thank you, dear
Antonia.
colleagues. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, you go and rest now. Rest your voice. I've got some very good thank yous and people saying they enjoyed it. You missed some of it, and that was Dr. Jibril. Yes, you catch. I think there's it's on YouTube, and the slides will also be shared. But so take responsibility, take care of your environment. It's your environment. It's not the government's environment. The air you are breathing is not the government's air. It is the air that's been provided for you to live and not die. So let all of us do whatever we can to make sure that we have clean, safe, environments, and we look at those things that are causing some of the hardship, conflict in the world, conflict in our environment, and making life a lot more difficult. And there's opportunities there. Lots of jobs are created with these environmental justice issues. So take time to study it, and you might find that you also have some great things that you can do, going green, going electric, and using so many things that are not contributing to depleting of our ozone layer and making our environment more uncomfortable for all of us. Thank you so much. All right, let me send some claps to all of you, and then we can close the session. Yeah, let me clap for all of you. Oh, I'm 78 years old. I don't know how to do this thing. Let me try again. Send with effect. Which one? I want to clap all of you.
Well, you are doing it, ma'am.
I'm trying. I wanted to clap for everybody. Anyway, let me send you lots of love instead. Hey. Okay, everybody. So thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I look forward to getting your reactions. And let me hear that you took a lot of these tips and that you are spreading the word. You are now a prophet and an activist that is going to change the world, change the environment. All the best to all of you. So let me say goodbye to all of you. And
thank you, ma'am.
Thank you all for being here. All the very best. Have a wonderful rest of the week. And I wish you all, you are the hope of Nigeria. That's why we're doing what we're doing. Yeah, and I have so much trust in you, so much belief in you that you can do it. We can make our world the world that we all dream that it can be, the Nigeria we all dream it can be, the environment the way we want it to be, that is inclusive, that is something that everybody enjoys. So thank you all for being here, and I will say good night now to all of you. All the very best.
Thank you, ma. Good night, ma. Thank you for your time, ma.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you, ma. Good night, ma.
You can all unmute. I've unmuted all of you, so you can say good night to everybody else.
Thank you. Thank you, ma.
Thank you so much, ma.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you, ma. Good night.
Good night, all.
Thank you very much.
Have a great evening. All right.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you. We love you. We're proud of you. We know you can change the world. You know, Africa is the cradle of mankind. The first human beings were created in Africa, so we should know better than everybody else. Let's show them what we can do.
Absolutely.
Okay? Absolutely. Yeah. All right, then. All the best.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Better days. Yes, yes, yes. Just ahead. We can do it. Okay, I think we'll end now. Good night, everybody. Bye. All the best.
Good night, man. Thank you.
Bye.